What's up? What the fuck? Hang on. I didn't change this from the last time. Let me, let's see. I think it's this guy, right? Yeah, everything's off now. I gotta fix everything. Goes like that, and then this shit goes down there. There we go. That's how that bitch is supposed to look. There we go. What's crack-a-lackin', motherfuckers? It's your boy, Angry Jackalope, Rob Ricks. I know it's a fucking Sunday. I didn't get a chance to do a stream yesterday. Some folks didn't know there wasn't going to be a live show on Saturday. They missed it. And so I told some folks, hey, you know what? I'll try to squeak something in on a Sunday. I don't really start working. This is my Monday for my graveyard shift. So I start tonight at about... shit, I don't know. I start tonight at 10 o'clock, I think. So 10 o'clock tonight I start. So I had some time. I was just sitting here going through my email, drinking some coffee, and kind of just formulating my thoughts. What's up, Yak? What's up, Libra? Sweet Libra. Thank you very much for all your help. Lyra rocks. You guys just don't even fucking know. She is really being helpful for me. I mean, she is really helping me out with the edits on the second book. And means a lot to me actually have somebody to help me. Because a lot of times, you know, my cousin Tammy, she was awesome. She rock and rolled and did a bunch of edits. I took the book, printed it out. I did some edits, and then I printed out another version, and I printed that out. And the funny thing is, even after all of those edits, I shit you not, if I had to put a guesstimate onto the numbers of edits that Jackalope has done, it would probably be in the hundreds. Getting close to, yeah, hundreds, easy. At least 300 or 400 edits, I think. Easy. And then, some people, when they would finish, they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm done. No. She's going through a second rock and roll through that shit. And catching even a couple more. So I'm like, you know, I've already given her praise, but I believe credit should be given when credit is due. And she's not only editing for grammatical, punctuation, things of that nature. She's even asking hard questions like, well, why would this character say that? Or why would you do it this way? Well, like, I'm not sure this character would be this way, you know, and so I get a little challenge, and then I'm like, oh no, it is that way, and you'll discover why later. So, you know, it's cool. It's cool because she's providing to me something that I haven't seen in some time, actually, in my workflow, which is collaboration. So again, sweet Jackalope, I from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough. You are really instrumental in helping me to do this stuff, and I will not forget it at all. So thank you again. All right, so moving right along. I don't really have a show or anything planned. I just thought I would pop on and talk about a couple of things that I've got going on. This Friday, sometimes my show suffers when my wife schedules things. And it's not that she's trying to derail shows or anything. I think she's just not aware of certain decisions that I make. For example, this one she scheduled probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. This Friday coming up, we're going to have a bunch of people over at the house. So Storytime is going to move from Friday to a day earlier to Thursday night. So Thursday night we're going to do a story time. And then I may even do another story time on Sunday, a week from today. Just because I fucking enjoy those things. I really, really do. And the benefit of doing things like story time is it gives my brain a chance to go a little Lulu, even if it's for like 30, 40 minutes, to create some basic story arcs. And what ends up happening is days after of generating a story on the fly like that, I end up with like 2 or 3 other, hey, you know what'd be a good scene or a good story idea, blah, blah, blah. And it comes from that. And so I gotta say, it's being very, very helpful for me to get the brain gears churning and turning. Now, let's talk a little bit about Magic Really Sucks. I'm really impatient in certain regards. Like, I really want to get the second and the third book out, kind of like as quick as possible is what I would personally like to do. But then I gotta think, am I hurting myself here? Because if I put out all 3 books, right, then I lose the advantage of promoting one book and getting people to read that book and building a fan base around that, and then building some excitement and some desire and demand for the second book, because it's fucking right there. Same thing with the third book. Hey, fuck it, it's right there, right? Because then I become the exact thing that I can't stand, which is instant gratification. And I don't really want to be instant gratification. Hey, what's up, Garen? To the vast majority of motherfuckers out there. I really don't. But I think what I will do, especially to folks like Lyra, Ed, you know, Tammy, etc., you know, Magic, Wicked, etc. The people that really kind of like are on an insider track, that really enjoy the content. I mean, really, like, they're like, fuck yeah, you know, what's the next one? What's the next one? What's the next one? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out some author editions of, hey, what's up, Simicom? I'm going to print out some author editions. And these are like, quote unquote, early review copies. Okay? I'm not going to make them available to the general public. These are going to be like insider copies for the Jackalope crew. You get what I'm saying? So that is going to be what I'm going to do. So once me and Lyra are done with this second round here, or third, fourth, fifth round, sixth round actually, of edits on Magic Really Sucks Volume 2 Liberation, then I'm probably going to print out, I don't know, I think I'm going to print out like maybe 10 or 20 of them, and that's it. I'm just going to cut them off at 10 or 20, and those are just going to be insider review copies. And I'm even going to notate that on the inside of the book, so that way we know there's only 20 fucking copies. And I'm not going to sell these. These are ones I'm going to send to people that are really like fucking going above and beyond. Like, Lyra's fucking retardedly awesome. I mean, like, fuck. I don't think I have enough money to pay her really what she's worth, what she's done. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're gonna get a book. Fuck you. You're not gonna pay me for it. I'm just fucking sending you a fucking book. Because I'm not trying to make money off you guys. You guys are my insiders. You guys are who I'm collabing with, and I'm planning world domination and shit. I ain't trying to fucking make money on you guys. So You know, fuck that. Because when you guys, my inner circle here, when you motherfuckers read my shit and you give me comments, you actually have read it and you go, wait a minute, you know, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if this character would really be like that or would say that or whatever. You know, then what really really helps. What's up, Garen? What really helps is getting you guys this feedback. You know what I mean? Like, if you like it, yay, great. If you hated it, that's great too. Just, I have to know why. I have to understand. So, when you have a problem on that end, what's going on? What's going on, Garen? Let us know what your problem is. So, that way, I can get some feedback from you motherfuckers, and I can make these as good as I could possibly make them. And I think it will only make this better. I mean, that's the goal. The goal is to make this particular trilogy as good as it could possibly fucking be. Because, guys, this trilogy sets up my whole entire story universe. Every book that I put out, even the rewrite of Convergence 2012, has ramifications that occur from this trilogy. This is the trilogy that sets it all. Sets it all. You know? So I really want these to be as good as possible. I want these to pass the sniff test. I want people to, you know, say, hey, why is it this way and why is it that way? Like, I'm working through something. Lyra was doing an edit, and as I was reading her edits and stuff, a question occurred to me, and I was like, fuck, I have a huge issue that I got to figure out, that I really got to figure out. Because there is something I have to address on the third book. On the third book, there's going to be a piece I'm going to have to really touch. The other thing that's really cool about the second book for the insiders, for what I'm going to give you guys, because I'm not selling it to you guys, I'm just going to give it to you guys. But what's really cool about this one is Disneyland is referenced in this particular book. When I go to actually publish it, I have to change that because Disney will sue the shit out of me for what's in there. So I got to change that and make up some fictitious park name. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, Bear? Because otherwise, I'm going to get in trouble. So that's another way you guys that will get this second book, you guys will be able to prove that you have one of the insiders. So the second book, not only is it going to be signed and numbered by me, but contextually, the content inside of it, you will be able to prove to motherfuckers that this was original insider limited 2020 copy run. So I'm going to send the number one, the very first one, to Lyra, just because the amount of work that she has put into this is fucking epic. Epic. So I'm excited about that. And I think you guys will really enjoy the second book. It'll be fun. Because, like I said, the goal of this is to make these as good as possible. And I'm really proud of them. I'm really super proud of them. I'm sitting there looking at all three of them right now, and I can't help but think. I cannot help but think that this shit's gonna be fucking huge, guys. I gotta tell you that right now. It's gonna be fucking huge. Let's see here. How about the way Stephen King did it? like Ratline. You know, I'm not familiar with that. I'd have to research that and see what's going on with that. So I'm not sure how he did that. Let's see. Yak says enjoyed the fixed blade collection vid. Simicon. Oh, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen. You have a video where you have a bunch of your fixed blades all kind of laid out and stuff. That'd be cool. I'll have to check that out. I'll watch that tonight. I will watch that tonight. Let's see, in the Green Mile. I remember the Green Mile. I think I'm missing something. Oh, you know, Garen, I am gonna get a standee made too. I might get two. I'm thinking about getting 2 standees to allow people to do selfies with, and a little hashtag campaign. I talked with my publisher for the first book, and they went and they fixed a couple of things that were wrong there. So that way I can go into Barnes and Noble and start trying to get some meet and greets going there. But I'm going to put them, they're not too terribly expensive. They're about, I think, a 4.5 foot tall one, which sitting on a table would be perfect for people to stand next to do selfies and stuff with. And I think, you know, it's like 80, I want to say $89. It's about 90 bucks. But that's with really good material. It's like really, really good material. It's kind of a plastic, porous material, useful for outside or inside, etc., etc. So I'm gonna oh, did you? I'll check that out, bro. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I will be doing some night things pretty soon here. I have what do you call it? I've got ballistic gel recipes from 2 different people. Renee gave me a link to some, so I'm going to be doing that. Right now, out in the freezer, I have 4 blocks of ice, and I think what's going to get hard use test next is going to be El Shetty. I think El Shetty is just about to... Yeah, I know, you're just sitting there looking all pretty and shit, El Shetty. We're about to fuck some shit up, though. Yep, I'm going to be doing Operator 7 after. So, the 2 that I have planned right now, here's 3 blades that are going to have some reviews pretty soon. What's up, Bronx? That we're going to review pretty quick here. Let's see. So, the very first one is El Shetty. So I've got all of El Shetty's specs in here. I've got my where I think it's going to do. So I have my actual test expectations. Out of a 10-star expectation as far as performance on the videos, I'm expecting this to be like a 6-star. As far as how many people are going to be super excited about me fucking chopping shit up with El Shetty. I think on the tops, Operator 7, because let's be honest, that bitch is just sexy as hell, especially the Blackout edition. The Blackout's fucking massively hot. You know, I'm expecting that one to be probably 7.5, 8 stars as far as people just going bananas on that video, actually watching it. But as far as my ratings for designs, both El Shetty and the Operator 7 are getting 9 out of 10 stars from me just off their core design for what their purpose is. I think it's fucking amazingly hot. The next blades that are going to get review is going to be the Almar, which is my daughter's blade, and I'm going to pull her in on that one. And just kind of get... She's had that pretty much for about a year now. She's had it for a while. Maybe not quite a year. She's had it for a while, though. So we're going to test the Almar. And then the other one we're going to be doing a test on. And it'll probably just be kind of just a generalized test is Rapid Strike. It'll be an overview video. It'll be some basic cut tests, EDC type stuff. I'm not gonna fucking stab this bitch into blocks of ice and stuff like that. just because I already know this tip's not going to survive that double edge like that. I'll just shatter the tip on this if I do something stupid like stab this into a car hood, ammo can, things of that nature. That's just gross abuse on this. Plus, considering the fact that this is a first run where this little nut right here is not going to be on secondaries, that suddenly made this blade collectible. And because of that, I'm like, fuck, well, I'm not going to brutalize this one. If I am going to brutalize one, I'm going to have to buy another one. So yeah, so those are the 4 blades right out the gate that I know for a fact I'm going to be doing some hard use test with. And then after that, the next set of blades are going to be zombie tool blades, and that's going to be the Vacra and the oh man, I cringe on this next one, on the Felon. Felon's going to get some fucking abuse, and oh man, I really love that fucking blade, and part of me doesn't want to go bananas on it, but there's so much demand. Nobody has really put a Felon through its paces yet, so I know I kind of have to do it. So yeah, so Felon, those are coming out next. So anyway, that's that. Let me catch up on the comments here. Can't wait for your ass to hurry up and test the Tops Operator 7. Yep, that will be there. I have a question about the Rhino. Oh, yeah, I know all about the Rhino. I do not enjoy chopping with the Operator 7. It's to see what your thoughts are. Yeah, you know what? Let's be honest. Operator 7 is not really meant for chopping. It's really meant for gutting. It's a fighting blade. So I think that it's going to really shine when it comes to stuff like ballistic gel. I mean, Operator 7 is really just meant for cutting fucking throats. Chopping wise, you want to go straight El Shetty. El Shetty is just meant for fucking process. I mean, El Shetty could be used combat wise too. Like, I could see it taking an arm or the shin, you know, a foot. You know, El Shetty against pivot points like wrists, base of the neck, spine chops. Fuck, I think El Shetty is just a devastating thing, but because of its heft, it's not really suitable for combat. But fucking Operator 7, shit, all day, every day, kill, kill, kill. I think with Operator 7, you could probably just kill relentlessly. And you guys just help me figure something out. Okay, you guys help me figure it out. One of the things I'm doing is an ad for tops for a shirt design that I'm working on with one of the guys from Happy Core. And I was torn. I was gonna go with the El Shetty, but now after this little conversation, no, he's rocking he's gonna rock an Operator 7. So thanks, Sumakan. You helped me figure something out there. I was trying to figure out in the back of my head. Let's see. Bear says, been getting ready for a camping trip. Oh, nice, dude. Oh man, I'm envious of that. With my sleep apnea stuff, it's really difficult for me to get to go camping or anything because I need a power source to use my fucking CPAP. So I'm really envious when people get to go and enjoy the woods and stuff like that. Stab them old stinky boots of yours. Yeah, I have one pair of really old 511 boots that would be fun to chop apart. I think that would be good. Kids are always funny like that, especially if they've grown up with a lot of technology. They don't tend to like that. Let's see. What's up, Diego? Let's see. Do you believe in flat Earth? I don't believe in flat Earth per se. I think the Earth is actually something different than what they're telling us. I think the Earth, personally, my personal belief is that the Earth is really fucking huge, a lot bigger than they're telling us. And I think the Earth is kind of segmented into different pieces, and each of those segments has, like, you know, like our own continents and stuff like that. So, but I do believe, like, there's an inner Earth. I do believe that the Earth is much larger. That's why some of these flat earthers think that, you know, the Earth is flat, because instead of it being like this, it's actually more like this. And this is our little area right here. So, of course, if you're looking here, you know, that's fucking flat. You know, no, it's just fucking, I think the Earth is just fucking massive. And there's a lot of other shit out there. Let's see. Is there a rechargeable version of that light in the handle? I think there is a rechargeable version of that light. The one that's there, that one, you have to have these batteries for that particular light. And I do know that they do have some of these that are rechargeable. You might have to get the recharger and have those types of batteries. I don't know if they've got that small light with an actual USB charger on it, but that's why I got a couple of those little tiny lights, and so that's why I got a bunch of these little batteries, just like these other batteries here, you know, for the bigger flashlights. I just tend to have a ton of those, and I do have a bunch of chargers that charge those as well. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of research on that shit. When you start chopping, make sure you wear some kind of wrist and elbow support. Yeah, I actually have some things for that, especially for my elbow, because I had really bad tennis elbow for a while there. So I think I do have to, you know, keep something on there when I'm doing shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm stuck on flat Earth. Been researching it for a couple of days now. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things. I think there's compelling research that's out there. There's one group that did a really cool thing with lasers and some other stuff, and they actually, their model doesn't necessarily show flat. It shows kind of an interesting shape. So, you know, it's going to be, I do know one thing definitively. I do know that we aren't being told the truth. We aren't being told the truth. They're just, you know, a lot of the things that the flat earthers point to just substantiate the fact that we are being lied to. What we're being lied to about, I don't know. I don't have enough evidence to go one way or the other on it. So, but I do think that the Earth is fucking massive. So, nice beard. Oh, I thank you. Hollow Earth theory is way more interesting than flat. See, that's why I think I do believe the Earth is hollow and there's something on the inside, because all of these mysterious booms and shit we hear, I think really what it is there's technology being expanded down below, and you know, just like we do testing up here, they probably do testing down there. So who knows? Anyway, there's a firmament over us for sure to separate the waters above from the waters below. You know, I do think there is something above us. There's been some really good research coming out of Australia to show there's microwave bands that crisscross above us, making it a kind of an impenetrable death fence, if you will, to kind of keep us in. I kind of think we're in a zoo. You know, part of my funny thinking is we're in a fucking zoo, and a lot of the abductions and whatnot is kind of like what happens in the zoo. They see an animal and they think it might be kind of sick, or they want to check and make sure it's okay. Might be now nourished or something else. So they go in and they drug it, test it, tag it, put it back in. And that's it. I think that's what all these enclosures and whatnot, I mean, all of these abductions and things of that nature are. So, I believe in a creator. I do as well. I think we are a dinner plate, but we're not a globe for sure. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I still think the globe part of things might not necessarily be wrong. I just think it's a lot bigger. I just think, and I touched on this a little bit in my Magic Really Sucks, but I just have this sinking feeling that the Earth is huge. And I think the globe part, you know, the little, what do you call that? Firmament, how it looks like the little, what do you call those? Snow globes, right? So I think really what we have going on. So you're going to have to stretch your mind a little bit here for this drawing that I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you guys a drawing real quick. We're going to do a little draw. So this is what I think. This is what I think. Now, I got nothing to back this up, but this is what I think. So I think I'm just going to take the top part of the globe, okay? And I think this is what shit would look like from space, okay? But the funny thing is, so you see each of those little rims, those little rings on the top here, each of these things here. I'm going to blow these up for you so you can kind of see something here. So watch this go like this. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so there's that little snow globe thing, right? And it might even extend down into the hollow earth, might also be part of this. So now I'm going to introduce a whole nother theory. I'm going to call it the snow cone theory, the angry jackalope snow cone theory. So up inside the snow cone, we have this, we have the moon, we have stars, all of this shit, right? And then this is Antarctica, blah blah. And then we'll just say this is America, this is blah blah blah. And then this is all hollow earth shit. Like this. Okay? Well, maybe I'll make this a little better. Like this. I'm going to put an HE in the beginning here. Alright. So, there's a blow up section to show this is our little enclosure. Okay? This is the zoo. Now, inside of each one of these, see, I think I just fucked some shit up here. Okay, so each one of these pieces here has its own celestial bodies up above it, the sun and the moon. That's why they're always kind of, you notice nothing ever really changes. It's because it's all programmed. This is all kind of holographic, right? It's all programming that our brains just aren't even wrapped around. Like, we can't even fathom it. It's just some crazy shit that our brains just go, huh? I don't get it. But every so often, we tend to find a little hole to go from one enclosure to the other. So, yeah, the sun and the moon are inside of the fermentation, the fermentation, or inside the snow globe. Those are renders. Those are things. So think about your video game. If you go inside of a video game, you'll see day, night, day, night, day, night, right? And if you're looking as a character up at the sky, you can actually see the shit moving, right? It's not really moving. It's just programming. It's just something to give you light, give you darkness, give you stars, give you whatever. It's the same basic thing here. But the real question is that a lot of people kind of get hung up on is, okay, well, great. If the creator created these infinite environments, then you have to ask yourself the inevitable question. Why? What's the purpose? What's the deal? Why are we here? What is the purpose of man's existence? Well, whenever somebody asks me that, the first thing I say is procreation. That is the purpose of man's existence, is to keep going. Every living thing, at the end of the day, what it wants to do is to continue to exist, to live. Human beings are amazing in that we can achieve miraculous things. We can do things that boggle the mind, and we see instances of it all the time. But we also see a whole lot of laziness. We see a whole lot of pettiness. We see a whole lot of other BS. So, I don't know. Yeah, the ripples on the moon. Yeah, a lot of that just goes again. shows holographic. See, Edgar Rice Burroughs used hollow earth as a premise, and Tarzan at the Earth's core called it pellucidar. I don't know. Yeah. Where's the sun in the sunshine? Zoo theory. Yep. Tip. It's like a jackalope's teeth. Yeah. So that's just my personal belief. I mean, and the funny thing is where it really gets deep. I think each one of those snow cones has their own rules, their own physics, their own stars, constellations and stuff. And I think if we were to able to fuck with stuff like wormholes, like CERN, I think CERN is basically trying to tear holes from one side to the other. And that's another thing that I have inside of my story. I actually kind of break that stuff down a little bit. I call them zones. Let's see. Have you seen a telescope views of the planets look like glowing balls of light? Yeah, you know, but the funny thing is, so here's the problem. Here's the problem with everything that we ever see. Everything that we ever see, when you get down to a granular level, is nothing but a theory. They can't prove a vast majority of the fucking things that they say. They can substantiate some math and say, well, we think because the math adds up. But then if you take out things like dark matter, right? You take dark matter out of the equation, which is something they just made up. If you take dark matter out of the equation, suddenly everything falls apart. None of the math works. Okay? Why is it if you go to a subatomic level with an actual super microscope, I forget what they call those. There's a type of microscope that you could take something and you could start zooming. You get down to certain levels, suddenly you're like, dude, this is just not solid. There's gaps. There's at a cellular level, you're like, this shit, how does it all stay together? Oh, you got the little electrons and blah, 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 and they're all connected and they float around together. It's like, okay, so they're not actually physically connected. They're just magnetically or electromagnetically connected. So it's like things start to get really funny as you start to really dig deep into shit, right? And so that's why the more I look at stuff and the more I look and more I research, I realize first and foremost, none of us know shit about shit. Anybody that says they have the definitive answers is blowing smoke up your ass, because nobody other than probably the creator actually fucking knows what it is. You know? Yeah. But what's funny is the sun, the earth, planets, yeah, they're massive. But again, how do we know? So here's the funny thing. How do we know when we can't, on our own, substantiate? We can't prove it, okay? Because we are using flawed eyes at best. Our eyes only see a very limited light spectrum. If you were to look at the world around you in ultraviolet, as an example, you would look at plants totally differently. You'd be like, holy shit, all these plants basically have, like, you know, dinner served here, come here, little arrows and shit pointing down to where they want certain insects to fly in. Our vantage, our viewpoint of the world around us is limited at best. So, okay, we have certain parts of observation. How's this? How is it if the moon, okay, if the moon is fucking 400 something thousand miles away? How about this? I could stand up, I can look at a mountain range that is, 15 miles away from me. Okay? I can look 15 miles away from me, look at the mountains. Why is it I can see better details of Earth, moon craters and everything else way the fuck out there, but I can't discern at my level mountains 15 miles away? There are certain things you look at, you go, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense. Also, the math. If you look at how perfect everything is. Look at eclipses as an example. What is the mathematical probability of being able to say the moon is the perfect distance away from the sun where it can just barely block that out and we can see that nice brilliant ring around the sun and all this other stuff? It's all perfectly mathematically lined up. It's like it's perfect. It is fucking perfect. The distance, those distances are fucking perfect. So some say, well, it's the Goldilocks zone. We just got lucky. Yeah, no, we didn't get lucky. The shit was designed that way. Now, you know, do I believe the pure religious accounts of things? No, not at all. I think, for example, the Vatican is sitting on some ancient knowledge that they don't want the world to know about. You know, I think, furthermore, you go and you look back, you look at Hindus, for example, you look at their mythology goes back billions of years. You know, it's like, it's pretty crazy. Like, I think we are probably, this particular snow cone, I think we are probably on revision or version 4.0, 5.0. I think we have done this shit time and time again, and I think there's a small group of people that know this to be true, but they, again, knowledge is power. If you know something and I don't, well, now you have more power than I do because you actually understand something, and by understanding something, you know more about the rules of reality than I do, and you can actually then leverage that knowledge to position yourself in a better way. How much do I care to actually go out and figure out myself? Well, Simicon, that's a great question. I'd say the vast majority of people don't give a flying fuck. And furthermore, human beings are super adverse to change. They do not do well with change. If, for example, flat Earth turned out to be true, let's just say that's true. Not even my snow cone or, zoo or nothing else. Let's just go with the one that a lot of people are talking right now. Let's say flat Earth turns out to be true. Do you realize how many people would mentally fucking implode? How many people would be like, and it would be fucking chaos. It would be literal chaos in the streets. It would just, holy fuck. I don't even want to speculate because the average dum-dum out there would just lose their fucking mind. Answer is the gravity, fourth dimension. My father flew in Concord. He can see the Earth circle 55,000 feet. Yeah, look, what I'm saying is this. If we are inside of a globe, okay, if you operate with the established rules of physics and everything else that we've been indoctrinated and educated and told and everything else, then your brain cannot wrap itself around something like magic or something like a different form of technology that allows control. So a lion, for example, inside of its enclosure, it knows the boundaries because it can walk a few feet and it bumps a glass and says, okay, I can't go out there or I can't go up and over or whatever. Okay. But after a while, its reality or its perception of its personal reality is that's all there is. Especially if it was a lion that was born in a captivity. It doesn't understand anything above and beyond what its reality is. We are told things from school up, this is how things are. That defines our reality. What if, though, there is a globe, but the globe expands based off of the controllers or zookeepers. So for example, let's say you wanted to fly in a certain direction. Okay, so they're like, okay, we can set the reality inside of this environment that when it hits this end of the snow globe, it will teleport to this end of the snow globe, thus maintaining the sphere reality that we have created in this scenario. Okay, as far as we're concerned, yeah, we're going here, we're going around the globe, we come on the other side, right? The flat earthers saying, well, no, you're not actually doing that. What you're doing is you're doing this. You're doing one of these things as opposed to doing one of these things and then coming back on the other side, right? Maybe they're both right. That's the fucked up thing. Sometimes there are things that happen where our minds can't explain it, but it is what it is. Okay? So let's say, for example, everything, the reality around us suddenly shifts. Now we're standing on a black platform, okay? And we see a door here and a door here on either side. We walk through this door and suddenly we come through this side. We're like, wait a minute, how is that possible? We go here and now we're here. Well, the first 4 or 5 times that happens, you're going to go, holy shit, that's, fuck, my mind is fucking freaking out. But then after a while, you realize, when I go through A, I end up in B. If I go through B, I go to A. Like, you understand it, you adapt, you adjust, and you're like, okay, it is what it is. Somebody says, well, how's that work? Fuck, I don't know. It's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Planes fly on isobaric lines. Yeah. I have friends that are pilots, and they always tell me everything, and they tell me we have this GPS, and it tells us this. And again, I'm like, great, fine, whatever. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm not saying anybody's right or anybody's wrong. All I'm saying is there's something else going on they're not letting us know about. And it's for really obvious reasons why. Because it must be something so profound that the average dum-dum would mentally implode. And so for that, I'm actually kind of grateful. There's a part of me that's really curious, but there's another part of me that says Pandora's box. If I go and I dig too deep and I figure out the real reality of things around me, I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. And so there's part of me that's a little hesitant about going down a rabbit hole, because sometimes when you know the true things, here's a perfect analogy for you. I watched Twister, okay? And I saw the cow get lifted by the tornado thing, and I was blown away. And my friend, who was a brilliant 3D artist at the time, this is years ago, he goes, oh, that's nothing. I know how to do that. And I'm like, no, you don't. You're fucking full of shit. He goes, go back to the office. We go back to the office. He's got a thing. He's putting some props in play, some cows and some buildings and some other stuff. He goes, it's going to take half the night for this to render. Let's go have fucking dinner and hang out, whatever. So we went, we ate, we hung out, watched the movie, came back. He hits play, and I suddenly see the exact same type of Twister I saw in the movie, the cow flying up, and it wasn't magical anymore for me. I was like, wow, that really didn't take much to do. And he's like, yeah, it's fucking rendering. It's 3D. And I was like, son of a bitch. And after that, now I watch computer-generated shit on movies and TV and stuff, and it's not amazing to me anymore. Back in the day when I didn't understand how it worked, I was like, wow, I wonder how they do that. That's so cool. And then when I saw it, I was like, okay, that's pretty fucking boring. Wasn't magical anymore. So, let's see. Someone showed up with technology from 100 years in the future. It would look like magic to us. Fuck, I would postulate not even 100 years. You take something with the way our technology advances, fuck, it might be 10 years from now somebody unveils a quantum computer that reveals the reality shit around us, and we're just like, it doesn't take much. I'm disappointed we don't have flying cars and all the other shit that they've been promising us forever and a day. Let's see. 12 years ago, I was considering joining an expedition to take icebreakers up to the North Pole to determine once and for all if there was a hole in the center of the Earth. And wouldn't you know it, the week the trip was supposed to happen, the ship captain died. Yeah, exactly. There's a Antarctica and stuff like that is very interesting to me, that all the countries that matter have a pact that no one can go and fuck around down there, right? Yeah, Admiral Byrd's on record talking about some really interesting shit. Ship captain, I mean the leader of the expedition. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, Simicon. Intervention, I've seen a lot of that in Africa. Yep, I've heard about some crazy shit that goes down in Africa. Yeah, there are some really, there's things they don't want us to know. Here in Utah, they used to have a bunch of spelunkers that would go into these caves, and they had some caves that went really fucking deep. Suddenly, probably about, I don't know, 6, maybe 7 years ago, they blocked them all off and said, nope, nobody's allowed. Nobody can go into these caves. Nobody can do this anymore. And they locked it all down. They don't let nobody fuck around with any of the cave systems. And, you know, they never gave a legitimate reason in my mind. So, you know, you got to look at that shit, man. It's like, it's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy. There's just there's a lot of weird shit going on, but I definitely, my personal gut instinct is it's not necessarily a flat earth. It could be a sphere, it could be an infinite plane. It doesn't matter. It could be a sphere, it could be a plane, it could be a pyramid. But I do think there's some kind of, you know, for lack of a better term, a firmament. But I think it's basically just an enclosure that is perfectly designed for us. Think of it as like a ice cone petri dish, and we are the experiments. So in this experiment, human beings are the dominant form of life. In another one, dinosaurs are the prominent. Another one, rats. Another one, fuck, I don't know, octopuses. You know, octopi or some shit. And I think even adjacent ones to us are probably also human beings, but they might be jump started to another area. That's where I think some of these grays and some of these other fuckers come from. I think they are just us as far as the same genetic material, just further along on a timeline of modifications and genetic modifications and shit like that. You know, Antarctica as a home of the Nephilim is not, I'm not opposed to that thought, especially considering my books, because that's where I have the Fallen. I have the Fallen in Antarctica. So, you know, it's kind of funny that you said that, because that's where I have them. I actually have the Fallen there, and I don't put the reptiles there. I don't have reptiles in this particular story. In Convergence 2012, I have tons and tons and tons of reptiles, but those are like the elite bloodline, and those are the ones that are kind of running things. But they also have underground bunkers and stuff like that. So, you know, that's what I have in Convergence 2012. That storyline. Again, all of these stories are all in their own sets of realities, but they're all interconnected on my big giant globe theory, or infinite plane, however you want to say it. Some people might say, well, you know, Rob, you're kind of describing a more physical manifestation of the alternate realities. And I would postulate that shit, we don't have to look further than each other to see alternate realities, because I think we each have a reality bubble around us that we define our realities. So, you know, some of this might not even really truly exist. This might be all one big giant augmented reality simulation. And we might be just very elaborate computer scenarios, self-aware computer scenarios. So, you know, when we die, we will find out, right? Hopefully. But, you know, as some of my atheist friends would say, fuck, when you die, you're done deal. Okay, that's fine. I mean, you could almost say that same thing with your computer characters. Okay, yeah, I die. My character died, and he's gone. But is he really gone? Whatever happens to the energy or the code that was used to create that character? You know, now if you follow the science of energy cannot be destroyed, it can either be used or changed, right? Then, okay, then again, there's another case of we're not really dying, we're just being kind of recycled into some other process. Yeah, the Mayans had a huge civilization and nobody really knows what the fuck happened to them. They disappeared. Nostradamus, a lot, if you go and you look at those quatrains and you actually read them, I mean, there's a lot to read into on those things. Like it's almost like if you go into an investigation with a conclusion before you do your research, and suddenly your research starts to shift to substantiate what your original thought is. You got Mothership in. You got what was it? The Russian old lady, the blind one that was able to see things. I forgot her name. I have a character that I patterned off of her. I call Baba Mishka, but it's Baba something. I can't remember her name. But it's one of those things where I think we're all plugged in. And I think we all have the ability to see what's really going on. I think, but again, it comes down to, careful what you wish for, because sometimes when you get to look behind the screens to see what the wizard is, you're really disappointed. Really disappointed. You know what I mean? I do believe in miracles. Miracles happen every fucking day for me. I see them. I note them. I get messages every day when I know I'm on the right path or I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But again, how much of that am I creating myself? Do we create our own miracles? I mean, it is written in the Bible, we are created in God's image, in the Heavenly Father's image. That's why I believe human beings are very, very, very special. Very special. So, it's one of those things where we could postulate all day, every day. We could go and find certain bits of evidence to substantiate some of our theories, but at the end of the day, theories are all theories. I can't take a flat earther and say that they're wrong. The same as I can't tell a spherical person that they're wrong. Because at the end of the day, neither one of them would be able to prove to the other one their point. And that goes back to what I was just saying earlier about all of us having alternate realities. Because what I believe and what Renee believes could be substantially different. And we could be looking at the same fucking thing. And then he and I could sit and argue forever about that topic. And you know what? At the end of the day, we're both right. So, I think that's the big takeaway from this is I think people can collaborate with each other. People could, respectfully disagree, because at the end of the day, we have our own realities. And sometimes, if we're lucky, the peer group that we're hanging out with shares that reality. If they don't, and they have, diametrically opposed viewpoints, then we just respect it. That's it. Yeah, it is a bit late. I was going to end the stream because we're right exactly at the hour mark, but I don't work for another 15 minutes, so I can keep going for about 15 more minutes. But hey Tom, anyway, hello. But I think it's fun when we can sit and talk about this stuff and kind of stretch our mind, especially as a writer. I always like to take different points of view and kind of weave those into story arcs to make people go, huh, that's kind of an interesting point of view. And really, I think that's the other takeaway is, I don't know when we suddenly became this really belligerent asshole society where if somebody comes with a statement, regardless of how stupid it is, and then just crucify them, just talk about them like they got three heads. You know, if somebody says, oh, there's, 5,000 different genders, on the surface level, I'm like, wow, that's really preposterous. But I'll go, okay, prove it. Show me why you say that. And then when they start to explain it, then I'll go, oh, I get it. It's like cosplay. Okay, so in your reality, what you're basically saying is a person's not defined by their physical traits. If they have a penis, they're not necessarily male. If they have a vagina, they're not necessarily a female. But based off of that person's perspective of themselves, they are now an Apache attack helicopter. That's what you're telling me. Awesome. Okay, if that's how they want to be, that's fine. But where I have a problem is when they suddenly start to force people to change their realities based off of minority crying inclusion. That's like, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. I am mad that the world does not change their name to some Jackalope derivative. And I think everybody should change it, because if they don't, then they're bigoted and they're hateful of jackalopes and blah, blah, blah. See, now I'm changing the whole entire narrative. Instead of somebody coming at me and talking about something from an interesting point of view, now they're trying to force their ideology upon me. And that is just like an inquisition. Okay, you're a Catholic. You're going to believe in this. No, I'm not. Okay, well, we're going to torture you until you do. When you force another group of people to share your ideology, then you become a very, very bad person, in my humble opinion. I have no problem with somebody's ideology. I have no problem with somebody's sexual orientation. I have no problem with any of that. But when they start to force those ideals into society in a negative way with the narrative saying, oh, this is for inclusion, this is so that they can feel accepted, I'm like, okay, you're an idiot. That's when I get mad. That's when I get really upset. Do I study philosophy to a limited extent? Yes, I do. I find myself a lot of times reading other people's work and going, whoa, I never thought about that. I love to read and discover different things and go, wow, I never looked at it that way. So from that point of view, I would hope most people study philosophy, because really philosophy is basically just observation, making personal observation and stretching your mind and going, what if, right? That's really what philosophy comes down to. See, people tend to get emotional when they don't have facts to back up their claims. Yeah, that's called being a child. Okay. If you say something and I say, interesting, back it up. Well, I can't. Okay, then that's just a theory that you can't substantiate, which I'm not mad at, because really, as I stated earlier, our whole entire world is that way. But if you start to get upset and you start to name call, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to disengage. There's no sense in talking to you anymore, because neither one of us are going to get anything from it. Either one of us are going to benefit from that conversation. So why bother? Why waste each other's fucking time? It's dumb. It's dumb. Tom, it's mental, completely mental. Everything in life is mental, based off of how we process, which is funny, because so many people have the hardest time with that simple concept. Our reality is us, individual reality. It's like, I don't really give a fuck what your personal reality is. That's yours. It doesn't affect me, your personal belief. But what does affect me is when enough people get together and they push a belief system to further an agenda, their own personal agenda. So they're manipulating on a massive level to get their reality forced into other people's. I think that's a fucking problem. That's a problem. Let's see. I confirmed a meetup with a former student's dad tomorrow. Angel's gonna owe me a donut. Oh, nice. Nice. Let's see. Apache Longo helicopter. Nice. Let's see. Garen, did I miss something? It's for sale, that is. It looks interesting. Oh, okay. What are facts? Facts to me, see, touching, smelling, hearing. Most of the stuff we call facts are hypotheses. Yes, exactly. Because even the things that we touch, we see, we manipulate, we think, we understand, it's cursory at best, right? Because I could take an iPad. I can manipulate an iPad, turn it on, turn it off, do stuff. Now, I can tell you it does certain things. If I open it up and take the skins off and I start to delve deeper, I have no fucking idea how that shit works. I don't know what those little doodads in there are. I have a loose understanding what their purpose is, but I couldn't replicate it. I couldn't educate somebody on it. I could tear it apart and point at it, and then I can make up shit and say, see that one right there, the big one? That's the power center. It could be not. Only person who knows for sure, the fucker that made it. Right? Let's see. Arif uses a Bell 214. I'm a helicopter pilot. Nice. That's cool. Jan Michael died last month, I think. Y'all need to check out the Tops Mohawk Hunter. It's a sleeper. Oh, Mohawk Hunter. Yeah, I'll check that out. If only perceivable sensations can be trusted as fact truth, what happens when the mind breaks down and perception doesn't correlate with reality? Exactly. Exactly. So, all of our senses, all of our sensory perception are basically inputs going through nerve clusters, going through our nervous system into our brain. Our brain processes and tells us what it is. Well, what about schizophrenics? They see and hear things that purportedly aren't there. Okay, so their brain now, if we're just being blunt, their brain's not processing right. So what happens now? Now that their brain isn't working the way it's supposed to, what does their reality mean? Okay, again, their reality is their reality, but it's adversely affecting those around them, especially with people like dementia, because now we have to take care of them. We have to try to say, okay, well, I'm your son. Oh, no, I don't have a son, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now you're seeing a breakdown of their cognitive abilities. So, you know, if we have a computer and the computer starts to act up and there's nothing you can do about it, a lot of times you just throw the computer away, right? So, but for us, since we're human beings and we look at the other person, well, we feel bad. We feel bad for them. You know, try to help them out as best we can and everything. But the bottom line is, perception is only part of it. Perception is what we think we see, what we think we smell. But our brain only processes a very small percentage of all of the neural inputs that come through, right? And it prioritizes. Oh, it's super hot. Okay, that's the thing that it's paying attention to. But it might not have paid attention to maybe an electrical stimulation that happened right as the temperature started to spike. So now you're realizing later when you go back to analyze, well, what caused all that heat? Oh, there was a short circuit in this device and the electricity flowed through and it caused a spike and that caused the excess heat. But we didn't get any of the electrical part. We didn't note that because all we noted was the dangerous heat increasing. So again, our brain prioritizes the input that comes into it. But there is so much more data we don't see. As is evident by, there's a real fun video where it says, count the number of times that the ball is being passed, right? So you're watching these kids playing basketball and you're counting 1, 2, and you're watching this ball. And you're counting and watching the ball. Then the video pauses and says, hey, did you notice the moonwalking bear? You're like, there's no fucking moonwalking bear. And you back the video up. Sure as fuck, there's a moonwalking bear. And you're like, how the fuck did I miss that? Because you had a task to count the number of balls. Your brain had that set as priority. It was processing that data. It ignored the bear. The bear wasn't important to the process that you were focusing on. Life itself in a limited extent is like that. There is probably shit going on around us we don't notice. And that falls into this esoteric world of, you know, the occult, magic, and things of that nature. There could be a whole slew of shit going on right in fucking front of us that we just don't notice. We don't see it. The brain, for whatever reason, just says, that's not important. Fuck it. And ignores it. But if we were suddenly to go, hey, I want you to fixate and focus on this, then you might go, oh my God, look at that fucking monster over there sucking that dude's brain. Because now you're telling the brain that's not, you know, wasted information. It's actually important information. So anyway. My neighbor is very hot. I need help. You try to holler at your hot neighbor? You need some game? Is that what you're saying? But you don't see the flaw in relying on sensation of perception, the foundation of truth. No. I do see a flaw there. I see a massive flaw there. Human beings are super fucking flawed. I can see something that is not there, but sensation perception tells me that what I see is truth. No. See, what I'm saying is you got to change your thinking. You can't automatically assume what you're seeing is truth, right? Because look, let's talk about holographic technology. They have technology now. They can beam some shit in the fucking sky and you see Godzilla jacking off. Well, you're seeing that, right? You're seeing Godzilla spanking this big giant fucking Godzilla dick. Okay, you see it. But is it true? No. Not at all. I have a problem. She's Ukrainian. Why? Who gives a fuck if she's Ukrainian, Russian, Estonian? Who cares? If she's fucking hot, she's hot. If she's fucking here, holler at the bitch. Fuck. You know, you might have a chance to learn another culture and everything else. Fuck this worrying about, oh, is she Russian or is she a spy? No, fuck that, man. If you see somebody that's fucking hot, somebody that's interesting to you, my advice is go say hello. Hi. My name's Diego. I'm a bad motherfucker. And you're a hot motherfucker. I think we need to hook up. What you think? You know some good food? Let's go eat. Everybody likes to fucking eat. Right? Okay. Let's see. But yeah, Tom. I mean, that's the big problem. What is reality? You know, we work with limited eyes at best. We have olfactory senses, taste, hearing, touch. But how much of that is real? For all we know, we could be in a matrix. We could be plugged into a fucking machine that has hijacked our brain and is feeding us false information. And we take that information as truth. But maybe it's not. Maybe none of this shit is real. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that is one of those ambiguous questions that, you know, we probably just won't know. Oh, his father maybe is a mafia member. Oh, he, she, whatever. Well, you know what? You got to be careful. So, if what I'm reading there is right, and Diego, you're a dude, and no, you said she's Ukrainian. So let me figure out what's going on here. His father maybe is mafia member. Her father, right? So, again, you run the risk fucking around with somebody regardless if they're mafia or not. Like, if somebody's dating my daughter and they fuck her up, I'm going to fuck them up. It's not a mafia thing. I mean, you'll find out. I mean, don't, you know. I mean, fuck. It is what it is. My thing is this. If a girl is hot, I mean, you always got to do, is it better with or better without, right? And then I got to get ready to go. Here's the thing. If there's a girl, a guy, a person, regardless, that you are interested in, but the situation is precarious because they have brothers, fathers, uncles, etc., that are mixed up in shitty ass stuff, it's hitting half your ass not fuck with it. Because let's say you build a relationship with that person. Well, you know what? If you marry somebody, you marry into their family. If the family is shitty, you're going to have shit. You get what I'm saying? Some things are better left alone. Don't fuck with it. If you have reservations, and it looks like you do, rude guy, mafia tattoos, and it bothers you, don't fuck with her. There's plenty of fucking fish in the sea, bro. Straight up. Fuck that. Don't fuck with her. Go find another hot bitch. You know? Always look at the mother. Always look at the father. Always look at the uncle. Always look at the brothers. Find out about family early in the relationship. And if it's shitty, run. Don't fuck with it. It ain't the movies. Fuck that shit. There's drama you don't need in your fucking life. And shit like that could be a whole lot of drama. I used to fuck with Russian Mafia. They're not ones to fuck with. So if you think it's Russian Mafia, don't fuck with it, dude. Don't. Go find some other girl. That's my advice. All right. That's it, guys. I got to get ready to work. I have a whole night ahead of me. Hope you guys enjoyed this shit. I always like hanging out with you guys. You guys make life fun for me. Where is this dude? He should be here already. Let me check my email. So I got to do these shift changes and stuff like that. Unless you are the Punisher. Yeah, that's right. If you're the Punisher, fuck it. You're going to go in and you're going to take care of the fucking Russian mob boss anyway with an M4X Punisher right in the fucking forehead. You know what I mean? So, alright guys. I'm going to call it right here. If you like it, like it. But throw them fucking likes on there, guys, if you like this shit, because it helps me out. Oh, you did do a fucking shift change. Who did this? Alright, I do have a shift change here. Let me go in and hit this shift change thing real quick here. So that way this person can go and leave for the day as I jump in. Let's see. So, boom, I got it. Alright, so that person's off the hook. And then I'm on the hook now. And I will set all of my alerts so that the system is live. Go down here to the rules. Manage my rules. Activate these alerts. Boom. They are activated.
Attention! Emergency! All personnel must evacuate immediately.
Nice.
You now have 15 minutes to reach minimum safe distance.
Okay, so I see my system is set live. So now any alerts that come through, I get notified. I am on desk. And I have this set for sensitive, and I go back over to you guys so I can finish my stream here real quick. Sorry about that. I had to just make sure I had that all set right, so that way if anything came through, I didn't miss anything. Let's see here. So yeah, so if you like it, go ahead and throw that thumbs up. Let the world know you like this shit. If you guys haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to this motherfucker. Throw the bell up. That way when I go and I do shit like this, you guys know about it. Are you enjoying that Umbrella Academy? I'm on like episode 5, I think. Thanks, Karen. Anyway, as I say, you know, go out, live life to the fullest, ride the bus till the wheels fall off, go have some adventures, get some scars, find some love, live life, man. That's what we're here for. You know what I mean? And oh, you're on the last one. Fucker. Nice. Let's see. Did I miss anything else in here? Ciao, blah, blah, blah. Thanks. Okie dokie. All right, good. All right, guys. You guys have a fucking great night. I will talk to you guys probably Thursday on the Robert R. Ricks channel. We'll do one of our fun story times. And then Saturday, we'll be back on regular schedule for our Saturday night streams. Okay, guys. Have a good one. Later.